Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 6 Japanese battleship Fuso. It has 12 main guns, 22 secondary guns, 52 AA guns, a top speed of 24.9 knots. Total health, 57,100. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase AA range, reduce flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift. And for my commander, situational awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower chance of fire, lower cooldown on damage control. We're on the map Two Brothers. We spawned in west, and we're headed west. So, I load AP since there's only a single enemy destroyer on their team. Generally, I will keep the first set loaded with HE because you will most likely run into a destroyer. And the tip of the Shark's Tooth on Two Brothers, the west, usually attracts destroyers with all the islands, the ambush potential, and we're detected right off the bat. We cannot detect them, so it's probably a destroyer, the single destroyer, or it's a cruiser that's laying back. Either way, we're ready to go. Someone unloads their rounds on us, and they're going to do a little bit of damage. I tried to aim at a cruiser that just disappears, but this Cleveland showing their side. Now, if I were to fire right there, it wouldn't have been an ideal penetration. This is more in line. He's broadside, he's softened his angle, and we aimed for the waterline, and we got 30,000 points of damage. Someone finishes him off, but we did 30,000 in one salvo against a Cleveland. Gone. Tier 6. Powerful cruiser on the enemy team. And we're going to try and do that again. The rate of fire on the Fuso is fantastic. This is an amazing game. Just wait. There's way more of that to come. And the enemy destroyer is somewhere on the northwest side. These are torpedoes. Telltale Japanese torpedoes. I can't see who launched them, but they launched them close. I took one to the front. Thankfully, it didn't cause flooding. Don't need to use damage control. The Kuma is sailing broadside. That's convenient for me. Waterline shot. Try and get the middle of the ship, and we do 17,000. One citadel, 5 regular shots land. Another torpedo's coming. This is just... the rate of fire on these torpedoes is insane. It was probably 20 seconds, and he gets another hit on the front of my ship. Again, doesn't cause flooding. We try and use our heal. Unfortunately, it was probably mostly high to moderate damage, no low damage. The heal increases in factor whenever you're healing low damage like fire or flooding, and it reduces its effectiveness against high damage sources like AP or possibly just the torpedo damage itself, not the flooding it caused. And we get a 28,000 damaging shot, and the destroyer is still harassing us. There's 4 ships here. We can't catch up with the destroyer. It's staying right outside of our range. We don't have the assistance of an aircraft to go out and spot the destroyer for us. You could see the Myogi half health. I wonder how you got there. We're going to try and do it again. Waterline shot on the Myogi. It's a slow battleship. We should have led just a little bit more, but it's okay. We get another 2 citadel penetrations, 20,000 damage. We did 48,000 damage to that battleship in 27 seconds, roughly. Guy's like, holy crap. And this has been an amazing game. We have forced ourselves on the enemy at the western side. We have pushed through, destroyed anyone that stood in our way, and all we have left is this enemy cruiser and that evil destroyer that's just harassing me. And I get another long-range citadel shot. Oh man. This is like what dreams are made of, man. In a battleship, every salvo you're getting citadel penetrations. But you could see waterline shot. If they're moving away or they're changing their distance, I slightly adjust it. So by the time they sail through to where the round is going to land, it will hit at their hull line, at the waterline. Now the enemy destroyer, finally we get to see this jerk. After all the stupid torpedoes he tried to launch on us, and he keeps launching them, but he pops smoke, he's sailing away, and unfortunately we lose sight of him. But we do know his plan. He wants to harass me, and I'm making it hard on him because I'm trying to stay close to my support team. But for being as good as the Fuso is, speed is not one of its strengths. It is very much US battleship speed in that regard. And if the guns were not this awesome, I would hate it. But it's just too consistent. It's a fantastic battleship. This is a battleship that will stay in my docks. There's no way I'm getting rid of this sucker after all these games I've had in it. I've leveled it so fast. Oh, the enemy carrier is in the area too. How convenient. Well, since we can't attack the destroyer, and I was telling my carrier, please scout over here. He's somewhere over northwest of my position. I really would love to kill that destroyer. This is payback, bitch. For all those torpedoes, we've taken very minimal damage for the amount of damage we've done. I mean, there's probably 10 times, maybe 20 times the damage we've done to the enemy. I mean, it's insane the amount of damage we've done, and we would love to continue it against the Independents. And again, waterline, he's angled, but he has low armor because he's a carrier, and we only do 7k damage, you know. A little bit below our standard, and he's finished off by an ally, which is awesome. And I see for a split second the fighters spot that the enemy destroyer headed up to the friendly carrier, and I'm like, go get him, please spot him, I will shoot him dead. I want to kill him really bad. And the carrier, fantastic, helping me out, and he's on a collision course with me, and we're going to try and lead him. Yes, we have AP loaded, not ideal in this scenario, but AP will do just fine. Just need to predict what he wants to do, and we do predict what he wants to do. We only land one shot, but we do get high caliber with that shot. And we're getting closer and closer and closer, and we need to prepare for torpedoes. So what I would love to do is reload, fire on the enemy, and then retreat. And the squadron moves out of range just for a split second. He moves back in range because he's an awesome carrier pilot. And we fire on this guy, and we only do minimal damage. Again, AP. HE would be more effective against a destroyer, but it is kind of overkill if I can maintain appropriate range. I could see that the torpedoes are coming my way, angling the ship, avoiding the torpedoes. I could just get good, clean salvos, and then the destroyer should be dead. And we don't want the destroyer to escape. And somehow he dodges all of that. It doesn't matter if it's AP or HE. It hits everywhere but on the target. We line up another shot. The front is available, and there, that's what I'm talking about. AP can take them out just as quickly if we get good shots. And enemy's dead. We've got an enemy New Mexico Tier 6 US battleship. Very good. Tier 6. Highly recommend her. Would I recommend her over the Fuso? Well, no, because look at all my games in the Fuso. This is more of a norm than an exception. It's just so strong. I mean, once you learn how to use a battleship, the Fuso has a lot of power. And enemy's broadside, we fire, we do okay damage. We need to lead a little bit more. But we are behind the island. The only thing that is spotting us right now is the enemy aircraft that are hovering over the dead carrier. You need to keep that in mind when you're playing. They still provide their team with benefit. If you're a destroyer or a battleship or a cruiser trying to evade the enemy's attention, you need to keep that in mind. And we do another shot and another 3k. Minimal damage. Should be able to do a little bit better. But we are showing a lot of our ship, and his turrets are trying to track us. He's also trying to turn. He's turning into a more ideal shot for us. He, fortunately for us, fires on a friendly and not us. And just confirming, yep, friendly's okay. Looks like we will collide. I lead him too much, and he adjusts out of his broadside. So this guy has some knowledge of angling and how armor works, and I don't want to collide with the New York, so I'm trying to adjust it so my butt will be out of his way, and he adjusts to the port side, so we both avoid each other. Enemy torpedo bombers. I really don't want to mess with these guys. Whenever torpedo bombers are coming, I don't want to be broadside with them, so I try and either I angle towards them or away from them, and I try and set the focus again on the target that has yet to drop their payload. And yes, sometimes I won't readjust it because I need to kill the New Mexico before it kills me, and we get Confederate with that shot. Awesome. We've done at least 20% damage to 6 different targets, and we've already done probably a 10,000 damage to the New Mexico. Not as awesome as earlier in the game, but still pretty awesome. And the New Mexico is angled in. That New York has taken a pounding. Whenever we look back prior, he had a ton of health. Now he has none. He's one shot away. But the New Mexico is now what I would consider the ideal scenario for me to use AP against. He's broadside, and he's a slow battleship. And another 3K. We can do better. We gotta bring our front guns around, unfortunately, so we're not at full strength on our rate of fire. But we're putting pressure on the cap, clearly. The enemies have to come to us, and whenever they're coming to us, we're going to take full advantage and do damage to them. And again, the battleship is not interested in firing on me. I'm all for that. We get 5.6k, and one of the rounds ricochets off the turret, causing no damage. And I know that there's an enemy cruiser that's very close. I see that there's an enemy New York. The New York is sailing very casually. He has his ship broadside. He's not angling. But holy crap, I need to get this Omaha torpedoes. He's close. He's an easy shot. Don't even know what I did to the New York. We do 5k to the Omaha. We need to kill him so he doesn't hurt our team. And we're probably not going to get another shot at this guy. Yeah, friendly's got too much accuracy. Good for him. Alright, Omaha's dead. The New Mexico gets a huge shot. We were perfectly angled to be broadside for him. Should have paid more attention. And yep, gotta make sure I don't run aground. That would be very embarrassing. We still have a chance to do a lot of damage, and it's going to be hard for him to do any damage because I'm going to stay angled now that I'm low health. My heal is about to come up. Spam that sucker, trying to get it up. So, we've done probably 30,000 damage to the New Mexico, and he only has 10k left. And all turrets, except for one of the center turrets, is basically available all the time. There's no obstruction like some ships, but if you angle slightly more so you can open it up, you'll get access to that 6 gun. We're trying to kill this guy before we get around this island. We slow down, of course, and he's probably, yeah, I think he's going to take a torpedo strike. Yeah, he takes a torpedo strike, and it causes flooding, and we finish him off. Looks like he could have died to flooding. We basically fired before we confirmed that the torpedo had made contact with the ship. So there's only 2 enemy ships left. That New York that I fired on prior, and the enemy aircraft carrier, which is staying in the northeast side of the map. It's trying to hide, right? And we have 4 minutes left. It would be awful for this game to end in a draw. Not after all the damage I've done. We are going to win this damn game. And we're going to fire on this New York. His guns are pointed towards me? Definitely me. And we do okay damage. We're way too broadside. We're going to take big shots. Ugh. He got bad luck on that dispersion. He probably could have killed us if he had more luck with his shots. We're not going to let that happen again. We don't leave these games up to luck. So we're going to angle our armor, We're going to make it a very hard penetration shot. He, unfortunately for him, is not doing the same thing. So I have a pretty good shot on his side. But it looks like he's actually distracted by a friendly battleship, and he's pointed his attention to him. He has apparently angled his armor in doing so. I don't think he knew exactly what he was doing. He was more or less a player that looked like he was along for the ride. And we're going to try and fire. He's fired at us. We angle our armor as much as we can. Well, we take a pretty good shot. We do okay damage to him. The friendly aircraft carrier is finishing off the enemy aircraft carrier, so I just need to 100% focus on the New York. Now, the observant of you would notice I have not used my scout plane. I really like the default binocular view. It is a little annoying that it is forced to change your perspective. Sometimes it's useful to look over islands, but most of the time it really changes the feel of the shot for me, and I can't aim as precise. I've done this thousands of times with the default view. I don't need an overhead perspective to put the shot where I want it to go. I can just tell, based on the ship, the angling, the speed, where I want to put that shot. And he's actually doing pretty good. He's turning to fire, and then he's angling his ship, minimizing the damage he takes. Now, one thing that you don't want to do, you don't want to over-angle like that, where you're perfectly straight on with the shot can penetrate the front and the back. Those are low armor zones, and it's much easier for the AP round to penetrate. But this game, 3 ships destroyed, high caliber, Confederate, 2,812 base XP, and we did something in the range of 193,000 points of AP damage with all of those citadel penetrations. And that beginning was insane. Every salvo, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. It was fantastic, and the Fuso is fantastic. I hope you all really enjoyed seeing all those citadel penetrations. I certainly went insane after every other salvo was giving me so much damage. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.